You're about to listen to the award-winning Stuart Pedasso Show. This show is for biologically and emotionally mature audiences. If you should not be here, please go away. We'll still be here when you're mature enough to partake. Mwah!
Hey.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to the award-winning Stuart Pedasso Show. I'm Dave.
I'm Melissa.
I'm Carrie.
And
we're here.
I'm so happy. I actually, after the show, well, I'm not really happy, but I'm happy about this. After last week's show, I went and deleted the new, that I didn't ask for, I'll put air quotes on, improved Audacity, and found an old version and downloaded it, and it just works so just better the way I like it. So I'm hoping this week you're listening to the show and you're like, hey, kind of like the way it sounds a little bit better, kind of the way it used to, because I went and changed it.
Because we like the old one better, and
I
we're
went old
using
school,
it.
bitches. So,
Old school.
That's right.
The best way.
Yeah, I mean, well, sometimes it is. Sometimes not. Sometimes it is.
So I want to start with a couple of little things, just little story things about school, my school, and don't worry, I'm not getting fired. I always have to say that.
I know,
just so somebody doesn't perk up. No, don't worry, this is good.
We're not getting fired today.
No,
people.
this is more about me. Well, but then it's like two little stories, and the only bridge between them is that these are both school related. But just the second one, I kind of need your advice on. Okay, you'll see.
All right.
It's not even about education or school. It's about social etiquette that I'm a little confused about.
Oh, all right.
But the first one is, we have this new student who I don't have in any of my classes, but seems to be choosing. So we have this system, this behavior management system, where many, I don't know about schools, but many places that deal with kids with behavior issues, they do point systems. I don't like them. They usually are externally reward driven, but I made that clear when I was hired. But I said, but that's what you do, and that's what I do. So I knew said it up front, but I follow the system like everybody else. I'm a good little soldier. So when one of the things, when you earn a certain amount of points, once you get a certain percentage, there's a half an hour at the end of the school day called preferred activity, or PA for the lingo. Hey.
Well, what can I ask why you don't like the point system?
Because it's an external reward. Once you take that away, or eventually the newness wears off, it doesn't really do anything to behavior anymore. And that shows. That's why this week alone, we've lost 4 water fountains in our hallways. They don't give a shit about it.
You're saying because it's the newness, once the newness wears off?
To an individual, yeah.
Okay, so what would you replace it with?
Well, you would do something that's more internal. That has to do, and I'll use the lingo for today that's more social emotional learning, but I hate that term. I would go something more circle of courage-y, or there's a million things out there.
What about a combination of the both? Because there is research that does say that rewards do work, especially for ADHD type.
For a while.
You just need to change it up and show it's the novelty that wears off. You have to change it up. That's the problem.
I agree. I agree with both of you, actually.
Well, so anyway, I'm just explaining.
It's just they get lazy.
I'm setting up. So, well, if you have one person who's like the reward person, I mean, as a teacher, when you have time to worry about changing up rewards. So anyway, there's this thing at the end of the day.
Oh, absolutely.
And there's a bunch of different activities. I started, that's not important. The one that I seem to be in as the staff member, I seem to be stuck in the gym. It didn't start out that way, but I volunteered to do it one time, and now I can't seem to get out. They ask staff every 5 weeks, do you want to change, list your 3 ones, and I still keep getting put in the gym, which is fine. Initially, I thought, well, yeah, I'll go to the gym, and because I used to be anyway like a active-y kind of person. I played various sports, and now I'm old and cruddy, so I don't tend to do that too much anymore, and I don't have time to go to the gym or anything. So while I don't hurt all the time for no reason, I shouldn't be doing anything too strenuous because I'm not, quote, in shape. So I go to the gym, and I rarely participate. Because, first of all, these kids are crazy in terms of physical. They have no idea
so
of
middle
body
school,
awareness.
Right?
It's middle and high.
Middle and high school.
And their version of basketball is just like it is definitely a contact sport.
Yeah.
And I'm too old for that shit. I don't
Yep.
need that shit. So I just go to supervise.
See, I get as far as Pictionary.
Yeah. So we have a new student. He's not in any of my classes, but he seems to be picking the gym for his PA so far this week. And he seems like a good kid. He's really quiet. He's very polite, at least so far. And he's not interested in any of the activities any of the other students. Mostly basketball. Couldn't care less about basketball. Some of the middle schooler kids like doing stuff, swinging sticks at balls. It's some weird hybrid game of broom ball kind of thing, but it's really more just beating the shit out of stuff. It's really whatever.
Right.
He does like football, and I don't know, not necessarily about the hitting part, but so far since he's been there, he likes to grab one of the footballs in the equipment room, and he wants to find someone to play catch with, and not it, right?
You don't throw football very well.
Well, so very few people would know this. I used to, when I played baseball, I would pitch. I used to pitch to the point, and
That's why I was wondering, because I know you pitched. I was like,
to the point where I have my shoulder sucks.
Oh,
my arm is not great, and especially since I'm not being active, I'm not working out. If I even just goof around and just throw a ball once or twice, my arm will hurt for a day, right? So it's just like that's just not my thing anymore. If I wanted to go and resume playing again, I would need to do specific things to get ready. So this kid's new, and he doesn't know a lot of people. And today, just the way things worked out and who was there and what was going on, he had no one to play catch with. So, yeah.
no.
So,
Like,
well,
sweet boy.
well,
Like,
so I,
Dave's like catch.
for a half an hour,
Ooh.
I am going to be hurting.
Did you have to ice? Did you ice?
I didn't
shoulda
have
iced.
ice. Well, I had Toperson, and I went to my room afterwards, and I took my shirt off and totally coated that. And now I'm drinking beer, and there may be some ice in my future.
Yep.
But I just thought it was like a half a fucking hour, and I'm like,
Aw.
so this kid had an arm. I mean, and he's I mean, they weren't coming at me. They weren't like tight spirals or anything. And I was doing all right. This is for a select audience. I mean, I had my hands. I was, for the most part, my hands were working together, and it was. I was showing some signs I should have been, tight end. Fuck that line stuff. But whatever. But yeah, the throwing. That was a strain. I mean, his were like relatively hard, and mine were these wobbly. I made it. I was making it, but man, they were definitely
No spirals?
every once in a while I get
everyone
lucky.
wants you to get a good spiral.
Yeah,
Nice.
but like every once in a while it would just come out of my hand and almost go not straight up, but like I'm thinking it's gonna hit the ceiling and it would just miss. And
Oh, you made a connection.
well, he didn't even say anything to me after when it was
you
time to
didn't.
go.
Doesn't need to.
Yeah, so it's
That's all right.
I feel
It's just adorable.
I
made
feel
the effort.
really old right
Yeah.
now. I'm just like, oh my god. And I know
But
this
it's also
feeling.
so nice.
It
and-
hurts a little bit
yeah,
right now,
yeah.
and I totally know how this is going to feel in the morning. This is going to suck.
You might
so
be
bad.
surprised. Maybe it
No,
won't.
I will not
Okay.
be.
Yeah,
Let's try.
yeah, I know. It's,
Yeah,
a
it's
sweet,
trying.
it's a sweet thought, but yeah, I don't think
Yeah,
so.
if the Toperson
Wrap it up.
fairy comes up in the middle of the night.
There you go.
All right, so the second thing that's connected to school, and this is a social etiquette thing. I have noticed this over the past few months at my school. So a bunch of staff, like you walk in the hall, right, especially if it's at the beginning or the end of the day, and they'll say, I tend not to say something first. Just usually I'm in my own head. 8 songs are in my head, whatever. And they'll say something like, have a good night. Okay? And I reply back. I'm not a Neanderthal. I'll go, hey, yeah, you too. And then after that, they always say, thank you. And I get confused. Like, you started it. Why are you thanking me? I don't understand this. And I'm noticing it's only the female staff. None of the male staff do this. Because after it happened a few times and I just felt awkward, like, am I supposed to say you're well? I've never had anybody in my life.
Oh, you say, yep.
I
Oh
don't
yeah,
even-
you can do yep.
But I don't even know why there's. I just don't. I get confused.
No,
by
it isn't. It's.
Or it's a, I
I
don't know.
think, I know. I'm trying to think. Like.
But
I always feel
first
like
of all,
you have to
can I
say
ask
something if somebody else says something.
am I explaining it right?
Yeah, you are.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. I just want to make sure that part. And
Yeah,
then we can-
I look.
I don't
and
know
pause
why. I
because I'm
think it's
picturing
because
it.
I think it's. I'm sorry, Doctor.
No, it's
I think
okay.
it's because people always feel like they have to say something else, and I think it is a female thing. I really
none of the
Oh,
males
you might
do
be.
this.
Yeah,
None
you
of
might
the
be
males.
right about that.
So after
I'm trying to think if I do that. That's why I'm like kind of pausing.
After
for a
I
moment
noticed
thinking,
it, I started paying attention to who was doing it, and I did notice it's just the female staff.
I think it's an automatic, like you feel like you have to reply to somebody, and I think it's something that women feel like they need to do, and I think it's not bred into us, but it's taught to us. Like it's a politeness thing.
I just realized I do something. I don't say thank you or anything, but I do smile and kind of like I almost always like smile.
Mine's
or
always
nod
a
thing.
Oh, well, that's
Or
okay.
smile nod thing.
Okay.
So I guess I still feel like I'm still saying something back, but it might be just more like a face or a gesture.
So
You have
I'm
to make
not-
sure
I
you
don't-
acknowledge and be pleasant.
So I don't say anything after that because usually, actually, we're walking in opposite directions anyway. So I usually
good
go.
night.
I'm
but in
not
your
gonna.
mind, you're
You
doing
too.
this.
Thanks.
No, but am I supposed? Is
kidding.
social etiquette? Am I supposed to? Because someone
No.
says thank you.
No.
No, I don't think I don't think so. I'm
So
just
weird.
picturing it. I'm like, hope you have a good night. You too. Thanks. No, you don't have to say anything.
No.
Okay.
No. They're just
Or
thanking
yup,
you.
if you want to, you can.
I
Yup.
suppose, but yeah, I feel like you don't have to say
Or an
anything. I feel
oop.
like the thanks is like just saying.
It's an
Thank you. I
acknowledgement
think it's like
of
more
the
of the-
response. I think
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
all it
yeah,
is.
And
yeah.
I never have. If this has been going on forever, I've never noticed it until this school year, and I've been at that place for over 2 years now.
You know,
But
I'm going
this
to
is-
totally notice this now.
Well, yeah,
I'm gonna start
I
paying
do-
attention
I
now,
do.
too.
that
I
to
know. I mean,
people.
I'm just
Sorry, I
thinking.
do
No,
that to
that's all right. I'm
people.
just thinking because I got to go to work tomorrow, so
I'm
plenty
going to
of-
start saying you're welcome
plenty
to
of
people and see what
come
happens.
in to get bread. So now I'm going to.
No,
I'm just saying. I
thank
say
you.
No.
I'm totally gonna
you.
stop dead and make them stop and go. No, thank you.
I do sometimes. Okay, I will say in
Awkward.
the customer service gate. Sometimes I mess around with people and do things like that.
Don't do that.
Yeah, but it's just with people I when I can feel we have that kind of
Okay.
vibe.
I mess with my students all the
No,
time.
I
with
wouldn't
stuff
just
like
do it with
that.
That's
Anybody.
different. The customer service. If I'm trying to pay, I just want to pay and get out.
No,
Like,
you
God,
can tell. Like
Don't
if
mess with
somebody's
me.
just coming up and paying their things, and you're like, yep, done.
Oh, I had the best time with one of my students today. Yesterday. She literally, I can swear on here, right?
Of course.
Okay.
Fuck yeah, yeah.
You've
We
always
swear.
sworn.
Can I fucking swear?
You've been on the
Can I?
show before.
How long have you been on the show?
Yeah, I know.
So she goes, well, that's some shit. Why are you being a pussy?
You said that, or she?
No,
said
she
it?
did.
She
Oh,
did.
oh, that's nothing.
Yeah.
See, that's funny.
I was literally like, okay. And in my head, I'm like, okay, some deep breaths now, Carrie. Deep breaths now,
Oh man.
Carrie.
That's
Okay,
hilarious.
I'm like, can we go in the hallway now?
It's got
And that's where she's like, that's some shit. Again, she says to me, right? Oh my god.
man, that
And
is
the kids their heads all whipped up at me, like, because they haven't witnessed me, because my kids rotate out of me every 3 weeks at least. So it's like the first day of school every 3 weeks, because they're only in the program that long. So I think they were waiting to see what kind of teacher I am, right? So I'm like, okay. And it took her a
Man, how do
while.
you not like? Sometimes I'm like, I would probably like. Sometimes I would just want to laugh. It's kind of like the same thing, like when your kid swears when they're young, and you're not supposed
Well,
to
she's-
laugh
this
because you're supposed to
child
let
was
them
16.
know. No, I mean, no, she knows damn well that you're not supposed to say that in school. She does. She did it anyway.
none of my students do. Zero. All of my students cuss, like constantly.
Yeah, like it would just be. I don't know.
I'm also in a very specific facility with kids for very different reasons, and she has a very, very unfortunate situation. So I also have to understand where she's coming from. And my first reaction was like, "Oh hell no!" In my head, like, "Oh, nobody talks
No,
to
we're
me
not
like
gonna
that,
be-
right?"
We're not doing that, right?
So I'm like, deep breaths, and all the kids, like, especially this one boy who I've had last year, he was with me, and he's a kid and he's younger than she is, and he's a little, he can be a little troublemaker. Like his head whips up and just stares at me, almost like, "Ooh, let's see what she's gonna do," right? Like, took a deep breath, I'm like, okay. I asked her again, can we go in the hallway? And she just like glared at me. Okay, waited a few more steps. Then she literally gets up and went as far away from the door to the hallway as she could. Sat down.
So, okay.
And then
So
she ended up going in, and I thought she was going to take off out of the room, but she went out in the hallway and she put her arms out where she said, "I'm ready to talk now." And I said,
well, Missy.
"Thank you." And she did exactly what I asked for, and I gave her props for making a good choice. Like, woo!
you don't have to use that,
That was a roller coaster
You know
ride
what?
for me.
Okay.
Oh, using a coaster?
Yeah.
You know what? I
Well,
am
that's-
so used to using coasters because I use coasters at my house. I am well because it's a nice table, so like I'm just
No, this
always
is
used to it.
just an old
I don't know. I just
Okay,
am used
that's
to
fine.
I'm used to
No, it's
coasters.
got a tablecloth
Do you,
though.
yeah, I know. So I mean,
Unless it's
I'm-
making a noise. Is it making
well,
a noise?
No, I just it makes that because it's stone.
That
Yeah,
noise?
That, but I'm just no. You can. I'm just telling you, you don't have to. Like if you don't want to, you don't have to.
I don't know. I'm just used to it.
I was just showing it to you the other week. I wasn't like saying you should use one.
This is a beautiful
I-
coaster.
I use
Actually, this is
one.
a nice coaster.
I use one because that does make noise on the board.
Right.
Because this is
Oh,
the
that
table
one's
the
not
board's on.
stone though.
No, it's not. I don't
Mm-hmm.
want stone. I didn't realize. Well, I did realize, but I wanted to get something from that bar we went to in South Carolina, and I was hoping they had either something like this or those. What the hell did I do with all the ones I have?
Oh, you have like those like
Yeah,
kind of
the
papery
papery
ones.
one, the cardboardy
The
ones.
corky ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. That you use for a while, then you taught. You know.
The cork one. They like absorb the moisture. I
No,
think,
no,
sometimes.
they're like hard paper type of thing. You usually
Oh.
see them at bars.
Yeah.
The ones they have at bars where they put
Yeah.
your put
See,
your
I always thought they
glass
were
God
made
damn
of
it.
like cork.
But
They
I
looked
have,
like it.
but I have like funky ones that. Anyway, so I thought wanted something like that, and that's all they had. And just of course, I may have drank 3 ginormous those German steins of beer. So I was like, yeah, I'll get that.
I'll
sure.
go there. I'll be
And then I
there.
brought it home. I was like, oh fuck, man, what did I get this piece of stone for? What the hell am I gonna do with this?
I'm
Anyway,
using it.
Uh,
Where were we?
yeah, okay.
The coaster leaves its own mark.
So as we know, one of the main things I'm teaching right now is American Sign Language, and I had a conversation with one of my students who was not in that class, who was in my homeroom, and I can't remember how it started, but like if you like had a magic wand kind of thing, like you could change anything about the school, what would it be? And there was two parts of that. The magic wand thing, like you can come up with something totally outrageous with the magic wand, and then the other one was like something that's realistic that could change. And actually, I think the realistic one was the point system. I would like something different, but the magic wand was I would take my magic wand and I would change and make all of the students more curious because nobody here is curious. Right, and it's so hard to teach when nobody gives a shit about what you're
Yes,
teaching.
yep.
And it's not just sign language; it's all the classes. They could not care less. Now, there's various reasons I understand that, but again, my magic wand, right? Okay, so there's an exception to that, right? Because there's always an exception that proves the rule. I do have a student in my sign language class who is curious. Actually, he's pretty good at it too. But he was so curious, he went home and on his own looked up all the swear words.
Well, of
And it's-
course.
Of course. No, actually, in all the years I've taught it, no one has done that because that would take initiative. Everyone's
So
too
the fact
lazy.
that
Tell me
even
as
he
to
did that
fingerspell
is
them
you're
all
like,
and
they,
has to
they,
learn the whole
they want me
alphabet.
to teach it to them, but they won't go and look it up on their own because that would take effort.
See,
Right.
I would have looked it up.
No, this kid did. So he comes in, hey, my name, Dave, whatever. Hey, Dave. And he did, and I, okay.
Which one was that? Is that fuck?
No, it's one of the ones for asshole.
Oh, okay. Asshole. Yeah,
it's a
now I see it.
sphincter,
Yep.
And I was like, okay, well, someone's been on the internet. Okay. And then they say, hey, Dave. Okay, yeah. I get it.
Is that fuck?
A specific kind.
A specific kind of fucking.
Well, okay, so
that ass fucking?
Oh, we're doing visual. Sorry,
Visual
the usual
signing.
like finger into the whole thing you do with your hand.
Yeah.
Yes, that would be the PIV.
Okay, that's piv. But
I guess
What's
this would be
PIV?
the PIA.
Fuck are we talking
PIV
about?
is penis and vagina.
I know.
Oh,
It's short for penis and PIV.
okay,
The PIV.
okay.
The piv.
PIV.
All right.
Yeah, we're talking about the PIV.
Okay.
So you have to use a different finger for the.
If
Oh,
you're gonna
it
be
mattered
graphic,
which
yeah.
finger. Okay. I
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
paying
it was a
attention.
different
Look,
finger.
dude, I think I'd understand. I know
Either
where
way, you
I
would
know
know.
where I know where the P's going if you do it like this,
Gotcha.
no matter what finger. Okay.
Okay. yeah,
Although, if you want to insult somebody, you would go. That's the
Totally
pinky.
got that one.
All right, see, that's
Pinky.
what I'm talking
Yeah,
about. Pinky.
yeah.
Oh, I got that one.
So anyway, that was like So when we had that conversation with my homeroom student and the magic wand thing, and I said I would like all my students to be curious, then I thought, well, be careful what you get. Be careful what you ask for. You just might
Right?
get it because now this kid's coming to me going, all right, dude, I get it.
Now put it in a full sentence.
There you go.
That's just it. Even the kids who really actually show that they're good at it, they won't do sentences for me.
That sucks.
Anyway, so
Well, that's too bad.
it is. I totally agree because I have one class, and actually the one that the PIV Kids in. I'm now calling him the PIV,
PIV kid. I love
I
it.
just go. Actually, that could be the name.
That
of the
might
show.
be.
Yeah,
It's
the
like, write it
PIV
down.
Kid.
It might
I
be the
will.
one.
Or if not, it's definitely a new band name, PIV Kids.
Kids.
Oh, that is a good
Yeah,
one.
PIV Kids.
Or
is
Pinky
good.
Kid.
Yeah.
No,
if you-
the Pinky
Piv Kid.
So oh no, so yeah, this class, that whole class actually, they do remember signs, and at times they can be curious, but they won't actually converse in sign language. They'll remember words. We'll do bingo. We did bingo. Well, with them, I did it yesterday. Man, I'm like, okay, they're not remembering the sign. Bam, they were getting it. We do Jeopardy. Bam, they know the signs. Okay, let's do some sentences. Man, I ain't doing this shit.
So, do some of the kids know some signs coming in, like at least some of the basics?
I have
Because
one kid. I have one.
wasn't there a time, or I don't know if they still do, but a lot of moms were teaching their kids sign language.
Yeah, but by the time I get them, they don't remember them.
They don't
use
even
them.
remember the basics.
Yeah, no, the one kid who came in has it's either an aunt or a friend of the mom. I can't remember. There's a deaf person in their orbit, so they do know some signs. And which has been good because I've been able to clean up a few. I don't mean swear words, but I mean a few things that he kind of, maybe it's more of a home sign than
gotcha.
actual ASL. So we've been able to clean up some stuff. So that's been actually pretty cool.
Interesting.
My mom took a sign language class when I was a kid. At some point, she actually went back to college and got her associate's degree because she only had to take like 1 or 2 classes, and one of the classes was a sign language class. So we were as kids. My mom was teaching us sign language, just like just teaching us stuff, and which came in handy when we were in church because my mom was in the choir. So both my parents were in the choir. So they were in the front of the church the entire service. So it was just my brother and I, like, by ourselves in church.
I'd like to
And
learn
we would communicate with her with sign language. Like if I had to go to the bathroom or something, I knew like this was restroom. And then, she'd either say yes or, yes or no. And and then she had like other things. If she had some other, if we were acting up and stuff, she had different, she'd look over at us and sign no and things like that. Like, I'm watching you.
Well, I remember we knew.
But it was cool though. I mean, it was cool because like we could actually, we were communicating with my mom through sign language.
I know we learned some. I know I learned some because of Wendy and Roy. I did learn some.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. I forgot about it.
Yeah, but I don't remember a lot.
Who's
of
this?
It. Kids we grew up with.
That Dave knew as well.
Dave kind of.
Sort of knew.
The names are. I remember Wendy a little more than there was a Roy.
Yeah, Roy was my age.
Okay. And yeah, she was deaf, but I didn't. I was,
We grew. So
Man,
Dave's-
Roy is a name you never hear anymore.
Dave's grandma. We lived on the same street as Dave's grandma, Seal.
Yeah.
And so did Wendy and Roy and their parents. So, and then at the same street, that was the end of the street, was the school for the deaf.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's, I think, why they lived there. And then they ended up
makes
moving out to Webster eventually.
Like you do.
Yeah.
When life is worth living.
But Roy and I were closer in age, and Wendy was his older sister, and she was deaf. So I kind of learned a little bit. I know I at one point knew the alphabet.
I think I still
Because I
pretty
used to
much
go
know
when they
the
moved
alphabet.
to Webster. I actually would go
Yeah, I
and
can
still play
still-
with
I can still
Roy
figure spells.
So the
occasionally.
thing about yes and no, like if you were misbehaving or something, one of the ways I teach and try to emphasize facial expressions, which my kids won't do very much, is I made up the term I use mom face or dad face, depending on. So like there's a sign. Sorry, I'm going visuals, but I'll describe. You'll get it. You don't have to know what the sign is. You can look it up, like PIV. So
Or have them tell you what it means, like they had to do for me.
like the sign for finish, something's finished or all done is like this.
Yeah,
pretty simple.
I know that because of my
Right.
daughter taught her
But
kids.
if you use mom face, that means like knock it off, like
Right.
in one hand instead
Like,
of using two hands.
you're like-
you got that facial expression. So that's the next.
Oh, cool.
Finish is like knock it off. You can also like enough This is for enough, but like knock it off.
But then you can really
one time.
Do you do mom face with
dad
that?
face,
Then
yeah,
that's
yeah.
different,
right? So and so my students know that term. That's a term that's kind of like a home sign. If you use that terminology outside of our school, people wonder what the fuck are you talking about.
So is that why when people are signing and all that, they're so expressive
Yes.
with their face?
Yes, it's part of the language.
So
It's part of the grammar of ASL.
so they talk about like awards to the most sometimes they say that the people doing the signs are more entertaining than the entertainer.
Because that's stupid ass hearing people who don't know the. Don't know that. Yeah,
Obviously.
it's part of the language.
Jeez.
Like those numbnuts that were complaining. What the fuck? Those right wingers that were just complaining a couple weeks
saying
ago.
that they were sending hidden messages
Yeah,
with the signs.
just-
I told you about that. Yeah.
Yeah,
What? I didn't know.
Yeah,
there
they
was-
were
I
accusing
forgot what it was. The
the
wildfires.
interpreters.
About the
Oh,
wildfires.
yeah,
sending
yeah, yeah.
hidden
That's what I
messages with the sign language
Well,
interpreters.
so I do use some of these videos,
Stupid.
and usually the beginning of the year when I teach. There's an interpreter down in New York City. Her name's Lydia Callis, and when Superstorm Sandy hit years ago, whatever, however many it
Yep.
was, at the time, Mayor Bloomberg was doing all these things like stay off the streets, all that jazz, and he was doing all these press conferences and live things, and there was an interpreter there. Most of the time, it was this woman, Lydia Callis, super expressive, to the point where hearing people were like, what the fuck is this? And she got like 15 minutes of fame. Jon Stewart talked about her. They did her on Saturday Night Live. They did a
I
skit.
didn't know about that. Oh, that's kinda cool.
So I have a clip that I took off of the internet of her interpreting, and then I have this 2-minute CNN story they did about her. That also included a clip of the Jon Stewart and the Saturday Night Live stuff.
It's just, she had just. I'll have to look. I don't know who this person is. So
Yeah,
I'll just
yeah,
have
yeah.
to look up. So just
So
really great expressive.
Yeah, yeah. And
faces and stuff.
now she has her own. So the first time I saw that, I looked her up. I found her on Twitter, and all her tweets were just like, "I'm an interpreter, hire me," kind of thing. That's all. There was nothing that really
Right.
brought anything to the table. But since then, because I use it every year. Just it's a interesting way of showing facial expression and stuff like that. And now she just has her own interpreting company down in New York City.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Good for
so,
her.
you know, that would make a lot
And she's a
more
coda.
sense.
Oh, okay.
And most a lot, and I shouldn't say most. Many codas do end up being interpreters. I know of some myself. that-
Because there's only so much you can do with just your hands. You have to add the face in
So-
to do more words, more expression.
Honestly,
Yeah.
you just talk to any Italian person here, and you
They're-
know, it's,
So-
I mean, honestly,
Again, I'm sorry, I'm doing visual, but I'll again, you can look this up if you want. But about what I'm saying, you'll understand. So there's a sign for the word soon, right?
Soon.
And you make this OK shape with your finger, and you put it right here at your chin.
Okay.
Soon, right?
Right.
And I learned when I was taking these classes in the past year and a half, tried to get officially certified to teach, which I'm not going to be. We're not going to talk about that now because I hate New York State. I found out in one of these classes, though, if you do that with a really
strong
with a
face.
yeah, thank you,
Like a
strong facial
face.
expression, more like this, and I'm going to back away from the mic and just do it really quick.
Angry. Yeah.
Like
Well,
angry,
no, it's
like,
not angry.
like
That's
like
not
you
angry.
got like your lips pursed.
Yeah,
and
so
like
instead of saying soon,
Intense.
that means somebody's really good at something.
you're like, ooh,
Yeah,
like
so-
you're like the master.
So the first time I saw that in a video in this class, I was like, that didn't make sense soon. And then as the conversation, and this is how sign, and we do this in hearing all the time, that I didn't know the context of what that meant, but as the conversation in that clip went on, I figured out what that meant.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
we do that hearing
We
all the
do-
time.
yeah, you're
just
right, we
because
do.
we've been doing it since we were learning language, we just
Like
we don't
if we don't know
realize.
a word, but
So-
if we
so
listen
how
to the
was it?
context, we get it. Yeah.
Yeah, if you ask me what the clip was, I don't remember.
Okay. So
Yeah, I didn't remember the clip. I remembered what I learned from it.
Right. So I was tutoring somebody the other day, an older woman, and English isn't her first language, and we were discussing just how difficult English is because
Yes.
of all of these little nuances. And then I was working with a very young child, and I'm a math teacher, yet they're having me teach reading, which I'm not certified in. However, I'm trying to explain
Sorry,
to
Karen.
him. Yeah, I know, right?
No, really.
So, and just trying to explain to him. And I'm like trying to prop him up a little bit, saying, you know what? I'm like, you're doing a great job because you're spelling phonetically. Like, English is really hard. I understand it. But you know what? You're spelling the way it sounds. So that's the first step. Like, I don't know. Nobody taught me how to teach reading.
Well,
or how to teach writing, how to teach spelling. I don't know. I don't know why you're throwing this at me.
And
but
deaf folks who, and many do, are forced to take like speech therapy when they're kids. And will learn things phonetically. It's an interesting thing. Look up, if you ever get a chance, just go on YouTube. There's tons of stuff out there. Looking at how deaf people learn to speak. And so there'll be certain words that are just we take for granted because we learn them. Those exceptions to all the rules in English, most deaf folks don't learn those exceptions, and they'll pronounce those words more phonetically as opposed to the exceptions. A lot of PHs, things like that. And I've noticed that with deaf friends who might have some hearing, or they took speech therapy when they were kids, and they voice some of those words that are really tricky in English, they'll get pronounced a little bit uniquely.
Yeah. Okay.
But you can usually figure it out.
Oh my God, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm like, you figure it out. You figured out what they're saying. Like, I got you. I got you.
Yeah.
I mean, I went to speech therapy too, not for that.
Well, it's
reason,
a different,
There's
but
I
different
did,
reasons.
yeah,
for
lots
speech
of,
therapy.
I think Dan went to speech therapy too, as well. Yeah.
Well, I can't believe they gave me a kid that's like, clearly, I'm like, he's either dyslexic or he's something. I'm like, why would you give a math teacher a kid? Like,
Well, is there a lot of reading teachers in your program?
Apparently not enough.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm like, if you're doing it, then it's not your thing
Dude,
at
that's why
all.
they had me doing. I don't know.
it's my part-time job.
Oh,
Tutoring, like.
It's not
okay.
your job.
Gotcha.
It's the
not,
extra
not
job.
my teaching job.
Oh.
No.
Okay, we can talk about that often.
Right. Yeah. I'm like, these parents
off the shelf.
parents are paying some
Can I give you a sign?
money.
Can I give you a sign?
Yeah. Cha-ching.
Capitalism.
Yep. I
Cha-ching.
knew that one because
Yes.
you have taught me that one before.
I have
Yeah.
I have both my social studies kids and my sign language kids brainwashed. They know the sign for capitalism.
The one they do know.
Yep, that's the one. Capitalism.
Actually,
You
had,
mean what's going on in our? Never mind.
I don't know. I had a hearing impaired person today at the bakery. I'm not sure because she wasn't there very long, and she kind of just pointed at stuff, and it was pretty simple to figure out. And she mouthed thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know the sign for thank you and all that, but she mouthed. Yeah, so I know that, like, that's another thing they'll do is like just mouth thank you or whatever.
Yeah.
You can you figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
So, can I ask about what's going on right now? No.
I don't know what.
So, like, should we be worried about stuff going on right now
oh yeah.
with like ice and stuff?
Oh,
yeah.
you're
Oh, yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
We're turning. Okay.
Yeah,
all
Turning.
right,
Oh yeah,
sorry,
no segue.
I thought this was going to be a deaf thing. Okay,
No
no
segue, folks.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, we should be worried.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
No, there's somebody close to me that I'm a little worried about.
Okay, wait. So there's a lot of things to be worried about. But so are you narrowing it to the immigration stuff?
I am.
Okay, no, that's fine. I'm just asking.
Yeah.
So we're
that's fine.
specifically talking about that.
Yes.
Okay.
Talking about
Yes.
So I'm actually curious about, like, how do people know what they should do, or even if
Okay, I have a simple way
Yeah.
to do this. Now, I am not, because it's actually not very short. So I will tell. In fact, I will link to it in the show notes. There is a concept that's coming around. I want to. If it wasn't created by the ACLU, it is definitely being helped along by the ACLU, and it is called simple. It's easier to look up. Just look up "Know Your Rights," because that will go to the top of every search right now, because that is all over the place, and it's
But if you're married to somebody, you should be good, right?
No, you're not.
they don't.
It's already happened.
They're sweeping
taking-
up
yeah.
legal people.
That's what I'm saying.
they're
I'm
taking up-
scared for my friends.
Yes.
Yeah,
No,
they're
no.
taking people who are even like working, who have already filed paperwork, who are working towards citizenship. They're
taking citizens. They're just,
Oh,
if
yeah,
you
they're
have a different
taking-
color skin, they're like,
yeah,
fuck
that's
you.
happened. Yeah,
Yeah, they're like, and
but they're definitely if
at some point they get sorted out, but hours, if not more than a day, you spend in detention until they figure out you're actually a
one
citizen.
dude in because I've seen this guy come up a few times online. Some guy in American Citizen in Florida wife, his wife is Venezuelan, and she's already on a plane to Venezuela, and they were working on getting, like, they already had filed paperwork and all that kind of stuff, but she's already on a plane to Venezuela. And shocker, Trump supporter.
What's this about?
Wait, what?
The guy, the husband, is a Trump supporter.
And
he's legal.
And his wife got sent to.
His wife was sent back to Venezuela.
Did he want her to go?
No.
Oh,
he is very upset about it.
I was like, was he trying to get rid of her?
No, he is very upset about it.
Did he turn her in?
This is down in Florida?
Yeah, this is in Florida.
Okay,
what
about here in Rochester?
But yeah,
it's happening all over.
It's
I'm
everywhere.
just giving this
no,
just
yeah,
one
there's
example.
There's no.
It doesn't matter. It's
What do
happening
people
here, too.
do? What do we do?
Well, okay, so well, again, I'm back to the.
I have a
know your
lawyer
rights.
friend that sent me something that was really helpful.
Yeah.
It
I
actually
saw
helps.
that.
Yeah.
I have it down.
Yeah.
I have it copied.
Yes.
That
And-
my lawyer friend sent me, I assume, was correct because she
And-
actually helps people.
So if
And
you're
what they're
here
doing-
if you're here with a green card for work, does that help you?
Well, I think they're just
Not
they don't give a
necessarily.
shit. So
Yeah,
here's the
I don't
thing:
know, not
you
necessarily.
have to. So the main thing about this, and I do know someone listening who can correct me on this, maybe, but my understanding is that
Your lawyer friend?
yeah, these ICE, and I'll put air quotes on this, warrants are not actually warrants like signed by a judge,
Right.
And I don't think they're valid in a court.
And
So
they're scooping them up and taking them to Guantanamo Bay.
by the
from what I
time
hear.
Trump's threatening it, I don't think anyone's gone to Guantanamo. I might be wrong on that, but if I read right, it hasn't happened. He just you know
Okay.
how he talks extraneously,
Right,
and
okay.
pull shit out of his orange ass.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think that's actually happened yet.
I bet his ass is really pale and gross.
I just wanted to throw putting orange into it.
My mind goes straight to
So the concept is no matter who you are, don't acknowledge isn't the right word I'm looking for, but don't accept the premise that they can do whatever they want because they have this piece of paper that they're calling a warrant. That's my understanding.
Okay.
And they don't have the right to just come into your house. They don't have the right. It may take also, depending on where you are, organizing at your workplace, especially because they're talking about. And again,
should people not go to their jobs?
The orange shit given, just talking out of his ass, saying ICE can go into schools and hospitals and all this shit. Well, no, not necessarily. Now, if an institution is going to let them do that because either they don't understand that these warrants are not signed by judges, or they're like, yeah, come get our brown people. If they suck, that's a different issue. Right. But if I'm again, not being a layperson, but who tries to keep up on this stuff, really, they can't. I've seen some video posted, more than just a few, of like people saying, look, this warrant isn't signed by a judge, and them backing down.
Did you guys know? This is so cool. I freaking love Quakers. The Quakers are they're
good. Yeah, me too.
They're fucking fighting them being able to go into churches.
Good.
Yeah,
I hope
yeah,
so.
Quakers don't give a shit about nothing, man.
I fucking love that. Like,
Good.
you go Quakers. You get it. Get it.
Well, I gave
Quaker will non-violently
I
fuck
gave
you
my
up.
friend my key.
I know. I fucking love that about the Quakers.
What?
They will non-violently fuck you up.
They
will.
fucking
They will.
love that.
They will.
Weren't the Quakers part of the Underground Railroad?
They will.
They were.
They'll
Yeah,
just
we have a
fucking,
Quaker meeting house over near Scio.
Like they are the unsung
Is it on
heroes
Scio?
of part
Near
of that,
Scio.
right?
They'll throw oatmeal at you.
Yeah.
I made that up.
steel
Anyway.
cut.
Yeah, so of course.
Oatmeal.
Yeah, I just made that up.
They don't take
I
the steel
have
out.
met a couple of Quakers. They seem to be serious.
They won't even wait for it to cool down.
Like they are
They'll take it hot out of the
hardcore
microwave.
about their beliefs. Like they live. They talk the talk and walk the walk.
Yeah.
Wait. I didn't
They're
say
like
that
Christians
right.
in
they
the
walk
best
the walk.
way.
Sorry,
They're
not
like
all
they're
about-
like the real deal Christians
Yep.
in my opinion.
Yep.
Which is not
Early
saying that some
on-
other ones that are not, but I mean, I just think the Quakers. I'm
Unlike
like you all are like
the ones
real
that start
deal.
with an M and end with an N.
The Mennonites.
No, Mormon.
Oh,
I mean, did
sorry.
I say that out loud?
No, you can say Mormon. Why?
I don't want to be down on a religion, but their
but
afterlife is kind of messed up.
I agree, but I do know. I'm
Like
just
they
gonna
rule
say
a
I know
planet?
just
some.
believe that, or is that Scientology? That aren't we?
No, Mormons
descended
rule
from
a
aliens
planet.
or
Oh
something?
no, that's Scientology.
All
Those
right.
people
No,
are nuts.
but Mormons
thought
rule
Mormons
a
had
plan. A man and wife will rule their own planet in the afterlife. I believe.
I don't know.
Mormons.
Okay.
I
The
just know
fact that
I
a
know
Mormon
some Mormons
husband
that are
have
nice.
more than one wife is kind of messed up.
Not every. That's not. No,
Okay.
that's not. It's actually not exactly that because it is illegal, and they recognize that there's certain sects of the Mormon
But the
church.
original.
Correct. But a lot of them realize that that's. I mean, it is illegal. It's illegal in this country
the
still.
original idea kind of had women in a certain role.
Yeah.
Kind of rubs me the wrong way.
Many religions do.
You think?
Many cultures
You
do
think?
that.
I'm just
that
gonna.
are
I'm
good.
not
think.
saying like anybody.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not saying anything. I'm the only, okay. The only thing I'm gonna say is I have known a few Mormon people who are honestly very nice people. They're not. They weren't jerks.
Oh, I'm not
or
saying anything against
Yeah.
the people.
Actually, my ring
in
was made. My
particular-
wedding ring was made by a Mormon person, and
but
they
their
were
religious
so sweet.
beliefs give me a hard.
For the most
Not my
part.
opinion. Yeah, not
Christianity
my thing. But
gives me a
For the
hard
most part,
time
you
for
can
some
always find those, yes, this group blows, but I know Bob, and Bob's
right,
okay.
exactly. I know
There's
some
always,
good people.
yeah.
There's good
always gonna
people.
be.
There's good and bad people everywhere.
organized religion always has
I
a
mean,
way to keep their people in line.
As much as they suck,
That's the point.
as much as they suck,
That is the point.
I know there's one or two.
Women have a role to be subservient.
Yeah. Well, we all
And
know.
children
Most.
need to be put in their place.
That's why they say thank you after you say.
Eggs.
you too.
Hello. That was the point.
That is true. I think. I mean,
You
that
need
is
your
gotta
women
be.
and they be kept in line.
Well, it's because you got the vaginers.
You
Get the vaginas.
got the vaginers.
That might be the name of the.
Vaginers.
vaginers.
Oh no, I can't.
Wait, A minor.
No.
Wait.
Oh crap.
What?
Cause no, I did not make up that term.
What, vaginers?
Fuck. No, sorry. I didn't realize it was subconscious and it came out of my mouth.
Oh,
but-
somebody else came up with
Yeah, and it was Louis C.K. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't like
shit.
him.
I know.
Do I?
No, he's terrible.
Yeah.
He is.
He was really funny too. It made me
know.
real. I was so bummed
Too
out
bad
when
he
I found
sucked.
out he was a scumbag.
And he
Yeah.
kept doubling and tripling down at
I know it was so weird.
Yeah.
It
He's
was
a
so
dude.
weird.
He's a dude.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, so
douchey
any
dude.
group you can find like somebody who's but not Bob kind of thing, right? But not but I
not
know,
him.
like this group sucks, but I know somebody who's in that group, but they're not so bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like we all know this is just a proven scientific
it's true,
fact
yeah.
that everybody who's a Browns fan's a douchebag, but I know a few that are okay.
Yep.
Okay, that was a joke.
That was a joke.
GLB. that was a joke.
Yeah, we have Browns fans and,
s-
and
I
Dan's
s-
family
yeah,
too.
I set that up on purpose. That was on purpose. I did that just special.
Go Bills.
Oh, that's right. He is a Browns fan.
Yeah,
isn't
the
he?
whole
That's
family.
right. I remember
the whole
that.
family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can throw in Go Bills.
That's whatever. Oh,
Go
but
Bills.
that's even worse. Oh my God,
What?
Brad could be swallowing his tongue right now.
Go Bills.
Brad,
his,
it's okay.
his family, long time. Okay, none of them live in Cleveland, and they still have season tickets to Browns games. Wow. Yes.
That's sad.
Well, that's
I don't think so. I actually really like Cleveland. I've only been there
I'm
once,
just-
but I really enjoyed it
No,
there.
no, that they can't go. It's sad that they can't go.
oh they
No, they go.
Oh,
Well,
they do go.
oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I thought they couldn't go.
no.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
I thought you
but-
said they had tickets. I thought you
Yeah.
meant that they couldn't go to the game.
No, so there's
Oh, okay.
just the family season tickets. Now there's family who live in Columbus, which
Mm-hmm.
is close. But then I do know Brad goes in for specific games that he wants to, and his brother Jeff, who lives in D.C. or that area,
Okay.
will go into some games too. So
Oh,
yeah,
that's
they still
awesome
get,
then.
yeah.
Wait, is he a lawyer
Oh, my daughter
too?
actually
Mm-hmm.
lives
That's what I thought.
not far from the Bills Stadium, so I'm a true Billsy. But I'm a Bills fan from way back. So
That's a
Go
can I-
Juice!
no, God no.
How far back you going?
only Doug Flutie. I'm a Flutie.
You know what's
I'm
funny?
a Flutie fan.
Do you know? Okay, there's a so
just a Flutie
we
So
don't.
you were not. So you weren't a fan
I was
when
not
you're
a
back,
Jim
back when-
Kelly. I'm not
no,
a Jim
No,
Kelly.
the juice. We're talking about OJ.
Oh,
God,
Simpson.
no.
So,
So you were not like
No.
in the you.
No,
nobody
I was a Doug
fan of
Flutie
this
fan.
stuff.
I started
Okay.
when Doug
Doug
Flutie
Flutie
came
was
out.
so
okay.
the other,
I actually had his CD and everything. Flutie
so
Flakes,
a few
Beanie Baby.
I don't know, a couple weeks ago or whatever. We don't have like cable or anything like that. I don't even know. I don't even think my wife has Netflix anymore. So if the TV's on, it's usually backgroundy kind of shit, or it's late at night. Who cares? You're gonna watch something cooking, or I'm not gonna
Right.
do like QVC, but something shitty, and you know it's shitty, but just something to put you to sleep. So the other night,
I do true crime for that.
it wasn't. I know you do.
keep that on.
It wasn't the whole, all of them, because there's only 6, but they did actually, some crazy ass old sitcom rerun channel did play an episode of Police Squad.
I I don't know that show.
You know, but you do because it turned into the movies with Leslie Nielsen.
Yeah.
Police Squad, The Naked Gun.
Yeah, I'm like, it's on my tongue. Yeah, Naked Gun movies.
That came from a sitcom that only ran 6 episodes. I have them all on a DVD.
Oh, really?
I would let you watch it,
Love
but
Naked Gun
you
movies.
won't watch it. So,
I have a DVD player now.
is it hooked up? Have you used it yet?
You mean, did it make it out of my trunk?
Okay, so when you get it,
Look at your face.
after you watch your first DVD, you can
No.
borrow anything I have. Okay?
I don't even own a DVD. I don't own one. Why would I take it out of my trunk when I'm going to move?
All right, I will give you something like stupid.
I know. I'm
And
like,
Spinal
I was
Tap.
thinking the same
Do
thing.
you still have it? Did you give it back?
No, I gave it back.
All right, I will give it back to you. When you tell me you've watched anything, I don't care what it is.
I don't have anything to watch.
I will give you whatever.
okay.
And
Spinal
then
Tap is
when
Spinal
you
Tap
tell
is
me,
so
then
good,
I
though.
will. Yes,
Anybody want to come over and watch Spinal Tap with me?
yes. My God, I offered to do that. Yes, absolutely. So anyway,
so much. Mime is money.
yeah,
It's one of my favorite lines.
That's true. I forgot that one. Yeah, mine
I was going to say, I gotta show you the cutest picture, but anywho.
Yeah, I don't know. That's one of those it's one of those movies. Oh, I mean, first of all, every Christopher Guest movie has the best line.
Well, it's a specific kind of humor.
but it's just
What,
like
Spinal
I don't
Tap?
know,
well, anything with Christopher Guest.
any of the Christopher Guest movies.
If
But
you
I,
saw him, you know who he was.
Okay.
but I feel like that one in particular, there's just so many ridiculous
Well, to the best of my
So ridiculous.
understanding, wasn't that the first
I think
mockumentary?
so. I think it was the first
Yeah.
documentary.
Wait, Spinal Tap?
Yeah, I'm
it's a
pretty sure.
mockumentary.
Yeah. I okay.
I think
I think
it
there
was.
might have been one before it though, because I looked it up when you wanted me to watch it when you first gave it to me. I remember because before I watch movies, I always research them because I'm a dork.
I do a lot
Actually,
of
Before I
that.
I
watch
might
do a
be
lot of
old
wrong.
that.
Hollywood movies, I always research
I might be
them
wrong.
as well.
And I'm going to bring up a name that we try not to. Well, not that this would come up anyway, but that we kind of like a Louis C.K. thing.
Is it Cosby?
No, it's not. It's Woody Allen.
Oh,
I think he did one that was a mockumentary. It was actually funny too.
What was it?
Damn, I can't remember the name. It was the one where he ends up being like some kind of Cuban revolutionary or something.
oh,
Yes.
Yeah,
And I think I might have seen that.
that was
one.
actually that was pretty.
I know
good.
that's like another until I mean, well,
I mean, he's
whatever.
not really funny anymore, but those early movies
His
were actually
his early movies were really fucking great.
Bananas and
Bananas
I
was
loved
great.
Bananas was good.
Everything you ever wanted to know about sex, we're afraid to ask.
yeah.
Like all of those are. I know he's such a fucking scumbag, and that's too bad because those movies were really great movies.
Isn't that bizarre though? That they're still together.
Oh, I know.
Isn't that just so
And they
weird?
they adopted
Wait, who?
children.
Woody Allen
and Sun Yi.
Sun Yi,
They
whatever.
are
yeah.
still together.
Yeah,
They're still together.
They're a thing, man. They're not going
They've
anywhere.
been together
Deal.
forever. Yeah,
Yeah.
They adopted children. They have adopted children as well.
That's just crazy, man.
Yep.
So it's fucked up because when Colin Jost and Michael Shea on Saturday Night Live do their annual joke swap,
I like them.
Michael Shea will always work in Woody Allen jokes, like
Wait, who
Colin.
does?
Michael Shea will give Colin Jost Woody Allen jokes like, free Woody Allen or Woody, I believe Woody or something. He does that all the time to him.
I love those two because there's no holds barred with those two.
Well, the
in a
joke
lot of
swap
time.
is like
that's what I mean.
Yeah,
that
really,
particular thing. They go low.
That's amazing. Because the censors
And they let
always
'em
fuck
go.
with SNL. They really do.
They let them
Oh
do
God,
whatever.
They have fucked with SNL for years. The penis. Wait, wasn't that one of them? How's your penis doing?
Yeah, how's your
today?
penis, Bob?
How's your
That
penis,
came
Bob?
out of the censor trying to take out something, so
Yep.
they just wrote a whole thing.
Yep.
Hey, nice penis
Nice
there,
penis
Bob.
there,
Yeah.
got there, Bob.
Yep.
Did you ever see that particular?
It wasn't
skit?
even funny.
Oh.
It was
It
being-
wasn't. But it was stupid.
You
It was
knew
so
you
stupid.
knew this was for some political reason because you knew somebody.
They're saying take the money and run.
Is that what it was? Okay.
Woody Allen's.
Yeah. So that might have been the first mockumentary. I'm not sure.
And then they're saying Zelig.
Zelig. Okay.
Also
Zelig,
Woody Allen.
Actually,
I never saw Zelig.
Zelig was
And then
actually
this is Spinal Tap.
Zelig was like Forrest Gump before Forrest Gump, and
They're also saying Swiss Spaghetti Harvest.
I've never heard of that.
Never heard
well,
of
it's from
that either.
'57.
It's a BBC.
Oh, well, that doesn't count. That's not American.
It's BBC. We
yeah,
don't care.
We don't care about that.
Our like two people
They're also
in
counting
England,
War
maybe.
of Worlds,
Yeah.
but they also we're also mentioning War of Worlds.
War of the World. Oh,
War of the Worlds.
Wow.
That's an iffy one.
I wouldn't call it that though. I wouldn't call
That's
it that.
iffy.
The radio broadcast.
It was just a it was just a story.
But it was kind of.
No, it was like a
Iffy.
mockumentary.
It really
But it was a
was.
short radio bulletin.
Like they were kind of.
I guess you're right. I didn't think about it. I
Yeah.
guess you are right now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah,
They're
it
saying
was a
let's
mockumentary.
define it.
But wasn't that before like moving pictures was
It
a
was.
big thing? Or
Yeah.
TV anyway. Maybe
was
there
for
was
TV.
movies.
It's
Yeah.
It's another form of comedic homage, a parody, right?
I mean, I guess you're right.
Well, okay, War of the Worlds. I wouldn't call that a comedy.
well, that's where they were talking about first defining it. So it depends on how you define
because the
it.
mockumentary. I mean, yeah, because all right, yeah, because that was definitely not funny. It was terrifying.
mock.
Well, it says it was preceded by the dramatic docufiction stories like the War of the
No, it's a
Worlds
docufiction.
or Land Without Bread.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that has
You're-
its own thing. Maybe there's a point to it. Like I feel like a mockumentary almost has to be funny.
Well, mock.
It's mock.
You can't-
It's mocking,
you're
so
not
it's funny.
you're
It's
not-
silly.
Yeah, there's got to be humor to mocking, or
Okay,
else.
so
it's-
then War of the Worlds wouldn't count.
No,
Yeah,
War of the Worlds
that's
So it
doesn't
would
fine,
count.
have
yeah.
to be the Woody Allen ones. Then.
or the BBC one. If you got to include the rest of the world, fine. Whatever.
But we're not. But whatever.
What according
America.
to Trump, we are the only ones that
America.
count.
Merca.
I know, America.
Merca.
So is it technically the Gulf of America now? Do I got to take the Sharpie on all my maps in
fuck
the
that.
classroom?
Dude, don't.
Or should I do it in vis-a-vis so I can
bullshit.
erase it in
It's
4
fucking
years?
bullshit. It's just
Or is
fucking-
there going to be 4 years and another?
It's not how it works. It's whatever.
It's so dumb.
It is. It's
It's
just,
so dumb. It's Gulf of Mexico. It's been Gulf of Mexico. It's still Gulf of
that's
Mexico.
one of the things you don't need to worry about. There's plenty
Yeah.
of things to worry
But
about.
yeah,
with that
there's lots of
fucking-
stuff.
Yeah, don't fight. Whatever. Call it.
I have
It's
to
the
give a
Gulf of Mexico.
test. No, I'm just kidding.
Well,
What
look,
a
when
geology teacher,
when the
geography teacher.
when the state of New York tells you you have to call it the Gulf of America, fine for the test, but whatever.
I'm
dude.
just kidding. Yeah, I can't wait to see what he has planned for New York State coming up. 'Cause he's pretty upset with us.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of our governor. We've all talked about how I don't think any of us are a fan of our governor. But she did say we're not putting up with his bullshit.
Not in an ICE sense because they're already here
Yeah.
doing.
I don't know that
creating
there's
chaos.
yeah.
But generally, some of the other stuff, New York will relatively stand up to a lot of shit. Not so much ICE.
However, he does have some ways to f with us. I mean, in the long run,
of course.
but
No, there's-
I mean, this is president. He can fuck. He's gonna.
Oh,
fuck
yeah.
it.
No,
He's
they
fucking with
can
us
cut
now.
HUD funding. They could do. There's all sorts of shit.
And
No,
you know
that's
he's
not a
petty. He's
Yeah.
so petty.
I didn't have insurance, I think, for a little bit of time earlier this week because I have Medicaid.
Oh.
So the Medicaid things. So there was which is pretty weird
and
to think
you know
about.
how petty he is, and he's pissed that he got felonies through New York.
And there are organizations like the ACLU who
And
is
other
not
places.
does
And
not
the NYCLU
yeah,
is
who
there, too.
does not bat 1,000. Let's put it that way. We
Mm-hmm.
can talk about. In fact, I was reminded this week. I didn't know this, but I completely forgot about it until I was reminded this week that the ACLU actually. I can't believe this, but they actually fought for. Oh my God! I'm blanking on the name of the court decision. The thing that said that corporations get the same rights as people.
I had a feeling. I don't know why, but I had a feeling that's.
And I'm blanking on the name of it. But I know it. I'm gonna as soon as I hit stop record, it's gonna
remember
come back to me.
exactly.
But I was reminded this week that the ACLU fought for that.
That's.
Now I know
God
they.
damn it! I actually just gave them money.
No, that's
too.
okay. Look,
I
they've
gave them money.
That
Look.
corporations have the same standing
rights
as
as
people.
people.
No,
yeah.
I know they. I mean, I don't know.
And that's kind of what's messing with us right now, right?
It
that
is.
and money of speech. Yeah,
Yeah.
um,
I think. Yeah.
citizen something with. God damn it! No, I can't.
Citizens Unite. What?
No.
No,
That's not it.
hold on.
You have to look
Talk
it up.
amongst yourselves.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Talk amongst yourselves. I do that to my class. Talk
amongst yourselves.
You got 5 minutes. Talk amongst yourselves.
Because I gotta come over here. I'm gonna hit my vape pen and.
Don't mind the smoke in the
No, you had
closet.
it. No, I'm sorry. Citizens United.
Yep.
Sorry, my bad. Yeah, and actually, when I read that again, and it all came flooding back to me, I'm like, damn, maybe I should check in again with Move to Amend. But I did like a year or so ago because I thought I might dip my toe back into there. And look, if you haven't heard of it, go check out movetoamend.org. We've talked about it on older shows back when they all used to be posted on the internet. But they seem to they've lost their focus a little bit. So I thought about restarting a Rochester chapter, and their focus is so all over the place. I kind of went, yeah, I don't feel like doing that right now. Maybe if they get their shit together. But their original mission is really good, is to overturn Citizens United. That says money, or that corporations do not have the same rights as people, and that money is not speech. And the ACLU fought for that. But in this case, they are ready. Earth Justice, I believe, is the other one that is ready to sue for a lot of environmental shit. There are organizations who, once we knew this was coming, they got ready. And so it doesn't mean we need to sit back and relax. And in fact, as I have right here to talk about, what you gonna do?
We can't sit back and relax, but I also feel like
no.
we can't sit back and relax, but I feel like there's also I don't know, I'm just saying what my therapist said, like you can't put yourself into it all the time. Pick something, pick a few things, or pick one thing, pick two things that you really want to
and find your allies.
And find
your allies.
Yeah.
I mean, look, Jen. Okay, I get. No, I'm not going to speak for anybody else in this room. Me, I am. I say this almost every week. I have the privileges. I get it.
Yeah.
But also, and I'm not discounting the feelings other people, that trans people and that other people feel, and I'm not saying poo-pooing it at all by any means. Find your allies. Anybody who's feeling that, I will do anything I can to. I will step in front of ICE. I will do that. I'm not gonna say I don't have a problem with it, but I will do it.
I talked about that with Dan. I said the worst thing that would happen, like, I know I read one thing that one of the things you can do is just start running because they will chase you, thinking that you have something.
Be careful.
You will get arrested.
Thing,
whoa, that's not
shot.
No, well, okay.
I would be worried about being shot.
Can I go somewhere in between there?
I was just thinking if they arrested me.
I wasn't thinking real bullets.
If they arrested me because it's like I'm getting in what is it? You're interrupting like an investigation.
Yeah.
No, I'm more because I've seen it
obstruction of
firsthand.
justice.
Obstruction, yeah.
No, I've seen it firsthand. They will tackle your ass to the ground, and if you're on cement, you're getting the worst of it.
Oh, okay.
That's
So
where I was
I actually
because I've seen it.
I've had a
Because
conversation with a colleague.
I would get arrested. I mean, I would get
Ironically-
arrested.
And that's what I said to my
I'd get
colleague
arrested.
To a deaf
who
person,
is
actually.
here from an African nation. And actually, I work with two people. And I basically said, well, you know what? It's my turn. It's my turn. I said, I can handle being arrested more than you can be arrested.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
It's
I
my
mean, if
turn.
I get arrested, I'm going to be there for a few hours.
I don't have a child at home.
And I'm white, and I'm an American citizen. So if I get arrested,
I'm not going to die like you might. I mean, maybe I will. I don't know. But
probably not.
I
Likely
haven't
not.
suffered a life. I don't know. I don't even know.
I mean, look, I'm not looking. I'm not looking to give up my life for something.
No.
But you know what? If in a certain situation, I will. That could happen.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, if the only thing that's going to happen to me, if it's just a simple thing like you're going to get arrested because you're interfering with you're obstructing justice, then like fine, fucking arrest me for that.
Yeah.
All right, take my hand.
I just don't
There
want
I
my
go.
grandkids to grow up in this fucking nation that this guy's
Don't
going
think
to
you're
create.
so badass that you got arrested.
No, but I don't want this to be the country my grandkids grow up in.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
So
No.
and so by the same token, and I also have a privilege as well because I do have those privileges because I can not only work to fight that stuff, but at the same time I'm also trying to work to not just stop that shit, but make shit better.
Yeah.
Right.
The thing is,
so I am still again dayforchange.org.
thing is, if that happened though, my grandkids would never find out because they'd hide that. They'd bury it. No one would know. They don't let that ever happen. But what I'm saying is,
Carrie, I'd post that on Instagram.
Nobody
Right,
would care.
but-
Nobody would care. Like if my family,
they would never let it out.
Can
but
I get
but
your
I
headshot?
would know.
Can I get your headshot so I can post it once
There
you
you
get
go.
arrested? All right.
It's just, it's just a scary time. And not sad. I guess sad is the better word for
I
it.
remember thinking back in his first term,
Because I feel like we
And
don't
it
realize
wasn't-
what's
and
already.
I know we talked about this. We talked about this, Dave. I talked about the fact that it wasn't that bad. It wasn't bad enough. I said it has to get worse before these people wake up.
Yeah, we've been saying, you and I have been talking about
we've been
that for
talking
years.
this for quite a long time.
And not even about Trump,
And
just
now-
in general.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Trump is the vehicle, but even before that, it was like,
Yeah.
look, it has to get where it really has to fuck with people's lives before they realize,
Yep.
dude,
And
gotta
knew it,
burn
and I
down
knew,
to
and I
rebuild.
knew in the first time it wasn't enough.
Yep.
I knew it wasn't like.
Well, there were
I
people that hold
wanted it
them
to be
back.
enough.
Yeah.
It was enough for me, but it wasn't enough for a lot of other
The
people.
sad thing is, it's not even Trump. It's the people he allowed in. He was
yeah.
the vehicle, right? And you just said it. He was
Yeah,
what
he's a
brought it
fucking
in.
idiot. That dude's a
He's
fucking idiot.
he's the one
just-
that just brought the votes to get him in. Like
Yeah.
he's the head. What do you call it? The headdress. The I don't even know
Figurehead?
what- Figurehead. Thank you.
Yeah.
Damn. Why couldn't he just turned his head? Why couldn't somebody call his name and he could have went what when that bullet rang out?
I know. Wouldn't
Damn
that have
it.
been so much better? I know. I know a lot of people are still on. I've mentioned it before. I'm like, I will not be sad if somebody shoots him. I won't. I will not be sad about it.
However,
I understand what the
However-
repercussions are, but
No, no,
I
no,
still
no.
won't be sad about it.
what if there's a small chance? What if whatever comes out could be worse? Could there be a worse?
It doesn't matter. I would
Could there
like
be
to.
a worse?
I would like to see that man not
Could JD
be
Vance
alive.
be worse?
It doesn't matter. I just would like to Trump not to be alive anymore.
I don't wish
I
anyone
just-
dead.
like,
I
that's
just
all I'm
wish
saying.
him not president. Unfortunately, the only way for that to happen is that
At this
way.
point is probably he would have to die.
You're right. Damn it.
And man, I don't want him to just fall. I mean, I do want him to die, but I don't want him to just like fall, like die in his sleep.
The fact that he said the reason that those people died in that airplane was because of DEI, that's enough right there. Because you know what? Actually, I can't get past his comments about the Central Park Five, and after proven that they were innocent, the fact that he said they should have been in jail anyway
Yep.
was enough for me. Right then and there. The fact that he felt that those men should have been in jail anyway, even though that they was proven that they didn't even commit the crime, he still felt that they deserved to be in prison anyway, just because they were.
Just because they're black. Just 'cause
That's
they're
all
black.
I need to know.
Yeah.
So on that note, folks, there's a million ways to resist, right?
Yeah.
Do something. I mean, do what you can, and then do what you can, and then maybe just a little half step more. Just go a little bit
That's a
out your
good
comfort
point.
zone.
Maybe
Yeah,
just push
do
yourself
what
a
you can,
little
just
hard,
a little bit.
harder.
You don't
Little
have to
bit.
go like from just watching Netflix all the time to being on the front line of a protest. There's some in between there. You could,
You can watch a little Netflix and then just go somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the first time you've ever gone to some kind of political meeting, and I don't mean political like your local Democratic Party. Fuck that shit. I mean like I'm trying to think of the 18 things I do.
One thing.
If you have a local Code Pink, we're the ones just getting going. Try a meeting there. If you have a local, if you're of this
Just
persuasion,
neighborhood meeting.
Jewish
Any
Voice
neighborhood,
for Peace.
neighborhood.
anything.
Just your neighborhood.
You
Sometimes.
that's true. I mean, that's being more civic, but not so much resisting, because those neighborhood association meetings, they kind of go out of the way to not bring that shit in.
Yeah, but you can learn about it. Maybe.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Does it
I'm not saying-
matter if it's Republican or Democrat if it's local?
I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you mean. What do you mean? Is
You're talking about getting involved, does it matter whether you're
I think if
Democrat
it's
or
a,
Republican?
I think if it's a
or
Republican, that means even
green
more
or
why you should get involved.
What is it?
well, look, if you're a Republican and you're not down with this shit, then you should totally start going to Republican meetings and say you're not down
That's
with
why
this
I guess
shit.
that's where I was going with this.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if you're a Republican and you don't like what's going on, should you be getting in there and voicing local? I'm talking local. So
I mean, I have-
At any level.
beyond.
Well, look, Liz Cheney did it, and now she's the Democrats' darling. Which is
I'm just saying.
we're over
and
an
there's
hour.
other-
That's something
right,
we can talk
yeah.
about another time.
I have family several of my family members are who I love dearly are Republicans, and they're not dickhead Republicans.
Then
so
they need to get in
They would be
there.
the people. They would
would-
definitely be the people who are
Absolutely.
like, yeah, get in there.
I went on my phone, not to be rude, because right before y'all got here, I was just sitting there, I was charging my phone, and I'm scrolling. Now I am on social media so much more now, running for office.
Right.
Because,
Well, you have to. Yeah.
And somebody posted something who is a Facebook quote friend. I don't even know if I've ever met this dude. And he basically, it was very long, but he basically said, we got to stop just voting for people just because they're Dems.
Yes.
Right. We got to pay
100%.
attention. And there was a string of comments from people, most of whom I know, and most who do blue no matter who. And it was very interesting as they were agreeing, but I could tell they weren't ready to jump ship yet. So right at the
That's
bottom.
all right. It's a start.
So at the bottom I went, alrighty, and then I just put a link to my website.
But
So-
here's the
So I
thing.
was curious to see if anybody had responded yet, and nobody said anything.
But here's the thing. But not too long ago, Republicans were all voting red because they had to stay. The only way to resist that was to stay Democrat. To fight that. Was that not, am I wrong?
Well, okay, so if, oh man, ding, 104. Okay, so we gotta do this quick because then we will have to go, but we can totally pick this up next week. So, yes, if you believe that, we can go by, yes, I understand there are some differences between Republican and Democrats, but the overall thing about spending money on war, and I know that we like to say that Democrats are pro-choice, but they won't codify. I mean, how they actually operate, then you have to look outside these two parties.
No. I understand what you're saying. But what I'm saying is when Trump came into the picture and he was going to, I'll primary any Republican that doesn't go our way. And the Republicans were like, everybody's got to stay right here. The only way to fight that was, okay, well, then the Democrats better stick together because it's the only way we can fight this, because there was no going back and forth. The last 8-10 years, it's been that way.
I haven't been part of that two-party system in 25 years.
But you didn't notice that was going on? You didn't see that from the outside?
I couldn't, maybe I didn't. I just,
You didn't
I find
notice
it
that at all?
Well, I find it all corrupt and have found it all corrupt.
No, I know
for
it's
decades.
corrupt. I
So
understand
I
that,
just
but you
haven't-
didn't see that it had gone to that.
I haven't
And that's
worried
why
about
people
that.
were so
No,
going
because
Democrat down the line, Republican down the line.
No, because I've been seeing that for decades. Whatever the reasons are, I've been seeing that for decades. So, to whatever the reason, I always
but even
get an
more
excuse.
so recently.
No, there's no more so. It's always been that because I've been dealing with that.
Oh, really? Because
Yeah.
I've done Democrat, Republican. I've voted both.
Well, okay, you.
I have
but
back in the-
recently. Yeah.
Not recently.
Not recently. No. But
Yeah. I have in
prior,
the past, yeah.
I've never belonged to a party until recently. Not until 2016. I joined the Democratic Party.
I've been in all the parties.
Yeah.
So-
Only to vote in their primary. That was the only
I
reason
was
I
never
joined.
a Republican.
I've never been
We've
in a
talked
party.
about this.
Yeah, I know you were at
Yeah,
one point.
I mean, when I got out of high school and the world was awesome because I was 18 and there was a Republican president, and I was like, all right, that must be why.
thing to do.
So that's what I did. And then after one time I voted, I went, ew, that was gross. And then I went to
I did go to the convention.
and then I went to Democrat, and then
Or whatever we
I
had.
I
That's
voted
gross.
once. I went, ew, that's gross too.
gross.
And then I was in no party until I found the Greens, and I went, okay, these guys are a little on the weird side, but at least I agree with their platform. So I've been there since. And if their platform has evolved to a place I like even better, and if they tend to do a U-turn, I will leave them too. They're not my home team. I will not. I will not be green no matter who. Green no matter
What?
All right, I got nothing that rhymes with green.
I know
right
what you
now.
mean, because
Yeah.
I already know there's some people who are green people who we're not fans of.
Yeah, no, there's all you can't like everybody. You can't agree with everybody in a group, right? So,
Right.
oh, you mean locally?
Yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake, no! That's some. I will fucking step in front of that motherfucker.
I know exactly who. I know. You know
Oh,
what I'm
yeah, yeah,
talking
fuck
about.
that shit.
I guess maybe
Yeah.
then what I'm thinking of then maybe
I'm not
it's
alone.
just
MG?
nationally then.
MG.
No, who? Oh, yeah, I didn't even think about that dude. Yeah, that guy too. But no, I'm talking.
I realized he was still on my friend list recently.
Yeah,
and
no,
I
I've
had
totally
I was like,
blocked his
oh,
ass.
no, that guy.
No, I've totally blocked it. No,
Yeah.
the dude who wrote that drew that horrible cartoon and sent it with a Green Party and
that guy.
PSL
Yeah,
logo
yeah,
and said
that
it was
one.
from us. No,
Yeah.
no, I will Rochambeau that guy. All right, we are
We
like
gotta go.
yeah, we gotta go. We'll be back up. I assume next week. We'll figure out when and all that jazz. Look, just do something. Okay,
Do something.
Do something good.
Start with online stuff, petitions or whatever, and then work your way up. Go to some kind of meeting. We get more civic. If you've been doing it already, do it a little bit more. Give up a little bit of the fun stuff. I'm sorry. Find some fun in that shit too. But whatever. It's time. We can't fuck around, man.
Fuck around and find out. This is what
We're
happens.
finding out.
Yep.
Okay.
Finding out. I mean, we already knew, but
I mean, it's $5 for a freaking dozen of eggs.
Kind of told you.
yeah, we did. We did. All right.
Still looking.
Knew it was happening.
Okay, bye.
Peace out. Bye.
Bye.
This summer, don't just go to any old theme park. Go to a theme park that celebrates freedom. Kushner Corporation presents Deregulation Land. Get wet and tingly at the Rainbow Water Slide area. The water in each slide is a different color. Why? Because freedom. Ride the Incinerator, the Wall Street Scrambler, and the Foreign Menace. And our lines are faster because we don't hold things up with annoying safety bars and seatbelts.
I like to eat at the Double Dog Dare food court.
I like to see Schumer the Clown perform.
There's boogeymen all over the place at Deregulation Land, but don't worry, our arcade has real guns. And Deregulation Land recycles. The entire park is run on 100% nuclear waste. It's freedom and fun for the whole family at Deregulation Land. Bring your coolers, bring your open containers, bring your friends. Except for the ones without papers, they will be checked. That's Deregulation Land. Get your freedom today.